Welcome to Hermit Woods, where there's a story in every bottle.
Hey!
Cheers. Where are we?
Back
Same
again.
place.
Cheers.
Again.
Monday night. To Monday night, everybody.
Monday
Cheers
nights.
to everybody
Cheers,
out in the
everybody.
audience today. Thank you for joining us. So,
How many people out there have a glass with something right now?
yeah, that's a good question.
I wonder how many people ask, people show up.
Yeah, make a comment. Let us know what you're drinking.
Let us know what you're drinking.
What are we drinking?
We're drinking kittens.
Kittens.
That's what we refer to it as. There aren't actually any kittens in here.
Oh, good.
But I refer to it as kittens. Because we had quite a few different ciders.
After I heard about Earth Eagle's methods for making beer, you
That's
never
right.
know.
That's a little scary. Yeah.
I can't leave that unaddressed. One of their beers.
Yes.
Because I don't want anybody to think that
There's kittens.
Anybody there.
No kittens.
Earth Eagle. Earth Eagle's a cool place doing some great beer, but they did use for one of their beers a cow head.
Oh,
Okay.
right. That was
Cow head
them.
in
Yep.
in the brew.
In the kettle.
That was something. But anyway, so
Yeah.
So we've got nobody is drinking any kittens in the audience, but
Really?
we do
This
have
must be thirsty.
a can of
It's
Petite
important
Blue.
to drink.
We've got a can of Petite Blue from Priscilla, glass of Witty Rosé from Christine, 3 honey from Gary, strawberry rhubarb from Matt.
All right.
And
we're drinking something.
We've got
great.
We've
Great
got
summer
kitten cider.
afternoon.
Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
All
Now
their
we know.
wonderful
Cheers
beers.
again.
Everybody.
Yes.
So we're in our usual
Nice.
location, just different angle.
Well, this is a fireside chat.
Yeah.
Lakeside.
Fireside
Okay, fireside.
without the fire.
Okay, without the fire.
You could call it Lakeside, but it's too late because it's already called Fireside.
I know.
Next time it'll be Lakeside.
Yeah. We'll do
Yeah.
Lakeside.
So before we
We'll have the
get
fireside in the winter.
before we get into it though, we should let everybody know, and I'm gonna have to really practice now where the subscribe button is. So it's over here. The subscribe button underneath Merike. If you're on YouTube,
By my feet.
it's right
down
below Marike's feet. So
Down there.
So please, if you're joining us for the first time, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel right below Marike's feet. And if you're joining us through Facebook, there's a little bell on your screen. Click that bell and it allows you to subscribe to our Facebook feed. And then anytime we go live from anywhere in the world, you'll get notified and you'll be able to join our live conversation.
Yes,
So,
we might be actually Lakeside next week.
Might be.
Or another
Did you have
time.
a bell when you were growing up to your mom or dad to let you know it's time to come in for
No.
dinner?
Yes, actually we did. It was a very large bell, like cast iron bell hanging on the edge of our porch with a big rooster on top.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a bell. I lived on a cul-de-sac in suburban California, and there was all these kids on the street.
You can't even imagine that in the valley of California, with cul-de-sacs and a dinner bell.
My mom had a bell.
I mean, all the neighborhood
She's
kids
like,
probably wanted to go have dinner at your mom's.
Yeah,
She'd yell
We're-
down the street, but she did bing, 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 and that would carry really well, and you could hear it. I couldn't
Did
hear it.
other parents have different bells? So you
had
knew if it
different
was
bells.
your
They didn't all
mom
have
calling?
My mom
you know?
was, a little different. She had a bell.
Let's finish our
Sorry,
intro.
okay.
Get through this. Yeah, we
It's
got to.
11:30 at night.
I know, but we got to get through this. So, we talked about subscribing. We'd love it if you subscribe. We'd also love it if you'd like the broadcast, either the YouTube or the Facebook broadcast, and share it with your friends and family if you think that others would like to learn about the things that we talk about here on our show. And if you are joining us today, in addition to just letting us know what you're drinking, you could just say hi on the comment section so we know you're here and we can say hello back. If you have any questions while we're going through the broadcast, please post
Those
your
are kind of fun.
questions.
Throw those questions.
Throw them
out.
at us.
Yeah,
We'll
they're fun.
answer them live if we can, and if we can't, Merike will surely get to it. And I think I covered everything, right? We're good. So why are we here today? Fireside chat.
Just because it's a fireside chat.
By the
Monday.
lake. You could have a fireside chat by the lake.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are
well-
those are some of the best.
So this is a
The
fireside
best
chat.
events to me is like a beach with a little fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember on the island when we were in Maine on the sailboat, and we docked on the national park on an island, and we
Oh, that's when you had your drone out.
and we got a little
Yeah.
fire going, and we made some
We had a
steaks.
fire. Oh yeah, we did have fire.
Yeah, right on the beach.
We were
Nice.
drinking it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Usually.
That's it. We were by the
Oh, that was
fireside.
epic.
A
Oh, you know what?
fireside, lakeside chat. Well, it was the ocean side.
So when I was flying in yesterday afternoon, they have this webcam underneath the belly of the plane. It's looking right past you. Watch the landing gear come down when you're coming into land. But we were flying in, and I turned on the webcam, and I'm looking over Penobscot and Casco Bay.
Cool.
Wow.
With the sun, you can just see it right there. You're
Beautiful.
flying over.
Wow.
That's really cool.
We gotta go back there.
Yeah. I think we're going to Rhode Island.
Oh, that's right. We're going to Narragansett Bay
Narragansett.
to sail.
When's that? When's that happening?
I don't know.
That's on our.
We
That's
don't
on
have
our
a date
meeting.
yet.
That's on our meeting agenda for tomorrow morning. We
Schedule that. Fun.
We need to
Walk
find
that
a
down
date.
because I might.
Yeah.
Always get.
So
Alright,
this
so
is
that's
a fireside chat by the lake without the lake or the fire. We're in the loft, which is good because we're going to be talking about Hermit
Yeah.
Woods, and we're going to be talking about the loft, and we're going to be talking about lots of different things. So,
I switched angles.
oh, good.
Just
Hey,
to, hey,
look at that. We're
We're
getting
over
good
here
at
now.
this.
Yeah.
We're almost like pros.
Here, this was
like
to
we're on TV.
show a little different angle and show the piano and a little more in the background of the
It's
loft.
such a great space.
It
You know,
is.
I still every time I come up, it's just. And when you guys have turned this couch around like this, it's nice.
I like this. I actually like this view. I can actually picture. So I'm going to go back to our straight on view.
Yep.
I can picture actually hosting like an educational talk. You know, bring in an expert from
We're
this
gonna
or
do
that
that.
area and
Yeah.
have a fireside chat type of thing where we're here. I know Bob, you're a fantastic interviewer, so we have you up here interviewing somebody interesting, or maybe that's somebody and Ken at the same time, depending on the
What about
topic,
like,
and have invite people to come and just have an open discussion.
like a real
Guests can
talk
ask
show.
questions.
Like
Yeah.
Oprah.
Well, I was also
Ellen.
thinking, on your wine experiences on Saturdays, and you have people out there, and you're explaining and giving the whole overview and some insights into it. But I wondered if people would be interested in kind of an elevated wine, really dig in on some wine characteristics.
Well, that's
it
actually
could be like a suite of reds or whatever, and we could dig in on the details of that, and then at some other time we talk about rosés, talk about examples where rosés are made, types of rosés, and just I don't know, maybe it's too nerdy or too much into the wine part, but I think it would be kind of nice. We could sit comfortably and just talk and go back and forth and try to keep it focused on one range of topics.
We actually, that's on my plan. Right now, we do the educational series where I'm doing the history, but the loft wine tasting experience doesn't say history in the title because the experience is going to change. So on Saturdays at noon, right now, you come and you get the history experience, but we're going to soon add something like what you just described. And I actually have something in mind already. When I do the virtual tastings, where we've done
like that.
many of these
Yeah.
virtual tastings, where we dig in on just a couple wines and we talk about wine appreciation, and the audience gets to have lots of questions about corks and how do you age wine and how do you appreciate wine. And that's about an hour-long presentation.
And we could do it both simulcast, so you're going live with a mediator, and you also have a live audience.
Sure.
So you're
Yeah.
getting questions from the audience so that you could set this up. People could buy the wines beforehand if they don't have them. We would know what we're talking about. We talk, we're going to just do Red Scare or something like that. We'll do vertical tasting Red Scare. Talk about that.
Well, we are going to do that. That's coming. And
be
it's
fun.
just a matter of me finding the time to switch it up because it's a marketing change. We've got to get the word out. We've got to let people know that
Yeah.
we're
It's
doing
not just
something
the
differently.
sort of regular one. Yep.
Yeah, but that's exciting, and the people who do the virtual tour really love it because it's a lot of questions. People want to know why screw caps and not corks. They want to know why do you age a wine? How do you age a wine? what is the proper cellar temperature? There's a million questions that the layperson who enjoys wine hears about when they hear people talk about wine. They hear about these ideas, but they don't fully understand them. And we do. So it's a great chance for people to really engage and learn and enjoy wine. And we usually include a pairing. There's usually some cheese involved or something where we talk about wine pairing and how to appreciate wine with a certain type of food. So that's coming, the Loft Wine Tasting Experience, and or some other time when we could do a special event in an evening or something where again, you're right. I mean, it'd be really cool to set it up similar to this, where we're just in front of the audience on a couch. And
I like this more.
casual.
I think we should be sitting on a couch.
Ken just wants to hang out on the
Hanging
couch.
I like this.
This is good. This is really good. All right, so put that on the agenda. We got to come up with an event for that.
That's true. Of course, Matt loves the idea of a Red Scare.
Well, we're gonna do a red. You know what?
But there's so many.
So
There
Matt-
are so many
Matt,
topics
I-
that we could delve into.
I'm just going to make an executive decision. We are going to schedule an event here at Hermit Woods sometime in the near future. We're going to do a Red Scare flight. It's going to be an evening event. We're going to invite people to come. We're going to do it's going to be a vertical tasting of Red Scare right here in the loft. We're going to be seated more or less right where we are right now, and it'll be an opportunity for people to come and learn about a vertical tasting, learn about wine appreciation, ask questions, and take a deeper dive into wine in general. That's coming. It's going to be on the schedule soon.
That'll be lovely.
I think it's a great idea.
Great.
Yeah.
Matt also says we need another cooking show. That was really fun.
We do need
We've done a
another
couple. We
cooking
did our
show.
Lake House White one with the mussels. That was a fantastic one. And when Matt came and did the
We should
crepes,
Make some
I'd love to do
ultimate
that.
Frisbees with the Hermit Woods Red Scare on them.
that would
Wouldn't
be
that be
cool.
cool merch?
That would be cool.
Where did that come from?
I don't
We went from
know.
cooking
That
show
was just-
to
Well, I was.
ultimate-
Well,
I
we
mean,
were
he was
talking
still on
about
Red Scare.
We were talking about Red Scare, and then I'm
Does
thinking to
Matt play
myself,
Ultimate Frisbee?
would- Max, that's why it's called
Matt.
Red Scare.
Oh, I said
Max, my
Matt.
son.
Yeah, no.
So I was thinking, because we're going to do Red Scare, we should play Ultimate Frisbee. But then I'm thinking, no, we're not going to play Ultimate Frisbee in here. So then it went into my brain that we could have this cool merch.
That's good.
It would be a frisbee, a
This
good frisbee
is why we call this
With-
fireside chat.
with Hermit Woods Red
It's just
Scare.
going all
Do you
over.
think you
The
could get
sparks
it
are
to New
flying.
Hampshire College.
Is there still a
They
Red
went to
Scare
Congress.
team? I was gonna say, is there still even a team?
They closed.
They closed.
Hampshire did?
Yeah, Hampshire closed. Yeah,
Really?
shut down. I don't know what's happening to the property now.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they couldn't make it.
It's a quirky place.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm-
a cool quirky.
I don't want to say I'm not surprised. It's just
Yeah.
a place that niche
Yeah.
has got to be difficult,
Yeah,
especially
you're
from a standard sort of development perspective.
Yeah,
I can
it's
see
too bad.
that.
It's such a great place.
It's a very cool place. I had some high school friends that went there. It's just wild.
so rather than lament on Hampshire College demise, I want to learn about Italy. Ken just came back from Italy. Spent
I know.
there
Yeah,
for
we
a
haven't.
week.
I haven't
And
gotten
I
a
don't
chance to
think-
hear
I
anything.
don't think you had a-
Everybody should go to Italy.
Yeah, well, that's a no-brainer. Matt, think about that. Are there any canals in Italy? I bet there is.
There's some beautiful lakes flying in and flying out, and there are some long river-like canals through the area. So maybe you could do that. I know in Padua they had smaller boats in the town, in the walled city, but that's just Padua. It's not like a big canal
Yeah.
where you can go for miles.
So why were you in Italy?
I like Italian food. I like Italian cars. I like Italian fashion. So I was just going to buy a couple Ferraris, a couple of new suits.
Well,
You know.
you are a winery owner, of course. So.
Yeah, of course. So
You
I
can
had to
do
go.
all
I
that,
had to go
right?
mingle with all the prosecco makers, and talk about their Valpolicella and their Ripasso and how they do this and that. Actually, it was because I have some colleagues in my other world of geology, of studying rocks, and we have a project that we're working on together, and their main headquarters is in a little town called Treviso, which is about a half-hour drive north of Venice.
Oh, I see. It was work.
It was work. I actually really worked kind of hard for 5 days straight. It was a deep dive, for me.
That's the kind of work that'll get you the Ferrari.
Hmm.
No, geologists don't make a lot of money. It won't give me a Ferrari. Maybe a Ducati though.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that might come into that price range. Anyway, so I was over there to do some geologic work, and right in this little town of Treviso, and it's a magical little town because it's an old, they're old Roman cobblestone, narrow, tall buildings with little shutters and window boxes, and it's a touristy place. So there's some people, but it's not like Venice where it's mobs of people coming in. There are some people there that are obviously from out of the area, but a lot of it is local people.
Where in the general boot?
It's about north of Venice.
Okay, so way up.
So just half hour drive.
Half hour north.
The fur of the boot. But Venice is way up.
It's in the northern part of Italy.
Yeah, because Venice is already.
So it's over where it's starting to curve and spread out up into the Piedmont and then the Dolomite Mountains. And Padua is a bigger city, about 45 minutes west. And it's a university town. It's also an old Roman.
I feel like it's the setting. One of the Shakespeare plays. Somebody's from Padua.
What?
It's mentioned in Shakespeare. Padua.
So this university is a famous old university, and they are celebrating their anniversary right now this year because it was founded in 1222. This is their 800th anniversary.
And here we are, Hampshire College couldn't make it.
It could make that
50 years.
Right.
Yeah, like Hampshire, it would have been founded in the 60s.
Years.
I feel like.
800 years. It was fascinating. And one of my colleagues got his PhD there, and he was talking about the procedure and the halls and the history. He showed me a picture. It was closed. We couldn't go into it, but they have one of the first setups where they were starting to dissect humans and understand how we were put together. This is in the 1600s. Lots of controversy with the church.
Huge controversy.
And these new scientists that are coming up and messing with God's stuff. And this building has like a table, and then it has a ring where you can stand and you can look at the person doing the dissecting. And then 6 feet above you is another ring that's just slightly back. And so another 15 people can stand there and look down. And it goes up 5 layers. So it's like this inverted cone of these slightly larger circles that goes up 6 stories.
We're observing.
And you can observe straight down onto the table where they're taking things apart.
Wow.
And that's still there. It's 400 years old.
They still use it?
I don't know. But the town is really hip, really active. There's a bunch of students, undergrad and
What did
graduate.
hip look like in 1500?
Well, no, I'm talking about now. Hip back then was probably, I don't know.
Who knows? I don't even know what normal culture was like back
But
then.
it was really cool. And he showed all these plaques from everybody that got their doctorate degrees on there. And you see people came from Paris, they came from down south, they came from Spain, and got their different degrees.
So, did you learn anything about Italian wine?
I did. Oh, you want to talk? Oh, it's wine. Yeah, we could talk about wine. Yes. So Treviso, that area north of Venice, is the place for Prosecco. So that's where all the Prosecco
I hope
is
you
made.
brought some back from mine.
I did not. It's,
Sorry.
I had to do carry it.
Oh.
So there's so much Prosecco. And like the guy said there, I was talking to them, they're all like, Prosecco's not special. There are a couple places that make slightly finer Proseccos, traditional method, but it's really about just a good tasting, universally easy drinking wine. And one of the most enjoyable drinks there, and these European towns, they got it going on. Every single night until 2 a.m, there are people out around little tables outside the shops on these cobblestone streets, hanging out, drinking, talking, and it's just a wonderful atmosphere.
That's what I found when we were traveling in
when you're in
France.
Paris and Lyon.
And not Paris and Lyon, but the same thing. All the little streets with just thousands of people out at little tables, little cafes, drinking and conversing and enjoying it.
So they have this great drink called an Aperol Spritz or a Campari Spritz.
Now you learned about this before.
I
this
learned
trip.
it last time I went,
Yeah.
when I went in 2019. I didn't know about it before then, and I've been drinking them ever since. It's about 3 parts Prosecco, 1 part either Campari or Aperol. Aperol is a little sweeter. It's an orange-colored liqueur, and Campari is the red, more bitter aperitif stuff. And then sometimes I'll put a little splash of water in there over ice. So big wine glass with this, you just order a spritz, €3 or €4, wherever you're at. And it's just a great drink.
Now, is Campari under 24%?
It's somewhere around there. I don't know exactly.
Because if it's under 24%, we could serve it here.
Well, we should serve it.
Oh.
I mean,
Well, it has to be under 24%. That's our license.
can you buy a bottle and water it down a little?
No.
Okay.
It's always trying to get out of the rules.
Just thinking outside the box if
Sure.
I can. Yeah, I love that, and so I.
If it's
drink-
anywhere close
I-
to 24, I bet we could find a brand that is under 24. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't be Campari.
Yeah, we can.
No.
It might be under 24. We'd have to.
But yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if it's a range, maybe it
Yeah.
ranges
It
from
might be. It's
22
somewhere
to 28.
around
You know,
there.
just we'd have to find the
Because
right
we were
one.
having some with, I was over at Andrea's house, one of my colleagues. He grew up in Treviso, and he lives there. And we were drinking spritzes one night, and he felt a little lightheaded. He goes, "Wow, I'm feeling a little lightheaded just from Prosecco." I said, "Well, you got Campari in there, and it's like 25%, or it's somewhere around that." And he goes, "Oh, that's what it is."
It's his drink.
I know.
You should know.
I know, I would think so. But they usually don't drink as much as I guess I do, because they were like, after a couple of days, they're like, Ken, I can't keep up with you. Casey one night is like, done. I'm like, come on, let's go out for another drink. And Casey's like, no, I got to stop.
You're a
Okay.
professional.
He's 30 years old. I mean, he's just, he should be able to drink some drinks.
You're much more practiced.
So I
You
drank
have
them all
Chuck as a
under the
coach.
table. Yeah, unless Chuck is there. I need Chuck along. Chuck, where are you when I need you?
Where is Chuck? Is Chuck on?
I
tonight?
haven't seen
No?
him yet.
I don't know where he is. He's flying somewhere
He's
around
flying
the
somewhere.
country.
Priscilla's talking about another take on the Aperol spritz that she's had. Prosecco lemon juice and Midori, so it's green and perfect for St. Patrick's
Ooh.
Day.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. Yeah,
Do
there's.
you know that we're hoping.
She says, or if the Celtics win the playoff. I'm with you, Priscilla.
We're
I know you guys
hoping.
are
that-
less sports fans, but
Yeah, no.
I'm with you, Priscilla.
Oh, not. This is a fireside chat, so I can break the trend. I just saw a great movie called The Hustle.
Oh,
It's you should check it out. It's on Netflix, and it was really awesome. Gerald and I both really enjoyed it, and neither of us are really sports fans, but it was about a guy who was he looked for talent for the 76ers. And it's a local New Hampshire guy. What's his name? Comedian that's from New Hampshire. That was Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
Was the star, and it was a serious role for Adam. It wasn't a comic role,
Mhm.
really?
and it was he really knocked it out of the park. It was amazing. He had
Let's
some
look at
some
that.
comic parts to it for sure, but he was a sort of playing this down and out. You know, he'd been traveling the world for 40 years looking for talent, and he always wanted to be a
Is
coach.
this a new movie?
Yeah, it's brand new. It just came out on Netflix.
Look at that. Sounds good.
It's a really good movie, and it's not for Celtics or basketball fans. It's an especially good movie because it is
Because they probably already understand the world.
even better. 20 or 30 like superstars in the basketball world
Mhm.
are starring in this film. They're all he recruited all real players.
Nice.
So there's the whole movie is filled with both older real players that have retired and some new players. And throughout the whole movie, it's about basketball. So there's a lot of basketball,
Oh,
and
that's
the
fun.
real stars of the show are there playing. So
That's great.
it was really cool.
Yeah,
you
that'll
have
be
to
a
check
good
it
movie at
out.
home. Oh, another update from Nancy. She just jumped on, but caught in time to hear our Campari question. She Googled it. Campari ranges from 20.5% to 28. So it's out there.
So there's hope that
There's
we can
hope.
find a bottle of Campari
It's
for under
interesting that it's a
24%.
range.
Yeah, it is.
What's that, the statement?
Are we able to serve? We can't serve outside wine, though, can we?
As long as you can buy it at the liquor store. It's a beer and
Okay.
wine license.
Okay.
So we can.
So we don't have to only serve our wine. I don't know. I know there are different licenses and such.
no,
So,
we could serve
so we could get other Prosecco.
But I think we should.
Or
I think we should
Make
find
something.
wines
I think
that
we should, I mean,
we make that
I
would
think
go
we should
good.
have fun playing with Dolgo and Campari, or
Mhm.
Dolgo and Aperol or
Mhm.
something.
spring in session.
And you're
That's
going to be
almost gone.
getting. We've talked about this. We're going to be putting all of our sparkling wines up to champagne level bubble.
I feel like we need it if we're going to do any sort of mixed
Oh,
yeah, you need
Prosecco like
it.
cocktail. I think our current
That's coming.
sparkling
next
crab
month.
apple,
Well,
aren't-
we gotta get that label
yeah,
done.
they're not quite-
The bottles are gonna be done.
Well, but all of the
Probably
other,
enough.
we don't need a new label for the other ones. So once you're ready to bottle new, when it's like a rosé, sparkling, or crab apple sparkling, those are going to go in through that route. And we'll get a new label for the other one pretty soon. So, but that's coming. Even without the label, you're going to get it done. So as soon as the label arrives, we're going to have sparkling strawberry rhubarb, which actually might be interesting.
and some fun cocktails. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
We're going to have
have
to do
some
some
fun with
drinking
that.
to figure this out.
Yeah.
I love those bottles when we have to sample and try a little bit of this or a little bit more of that.
Yeah, it's
Make sure we get it right.
Yeah.
tough work.
But it was good. There's a wide range of wines there, of course. The Piedmont, Valpolicella, the Chiantis, the different wines. A lot of rosé. It's warm there, mid high 80s Fahrenheit during the day, and only gets down to 70 or 65 in the evening. So it's warm, and so rosé. We drank a lot of rosé. And
Italian rosé. I don't
Italian rosé.
I don't think of Italy when I think of rosé typically.
yes, Italian rosé.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of it, but I don't-
You know, the
I'm not-
volume of wine that Italy and France create, they dominate the whole world.
what's so amazing
It's
is
like 80% of the world
Yeah, if you-
wine,
if you-
total volume.
if you think about the size of France
They're small countries. and
versus
they're
the
just-
size of the U.S.
Yeah, they make way more. We make like 10 and they make like 60. So they're like 6 times more, each of them, than what all of the United States produces in wine. They produce out of Italy.
That sounds a little high, but you might be right.
It's something like
It's
that.
it's high. I remember.
They had the book by Madeline, Wine Folly,
Oh, okay.
on their show.
They had it,
So
okay.
they had the book because Andrea's wife was getting into wine and trying to learn about wine. She's from Florida. She married this Italian guy, loves it, lives there. And so she was, I was looking through the book because I hadn't seen the book, although I know
It's a great book. What's the name of it?
Wine
what's-
Folly
Folly.
Wine
by
Folly.
Madeline.
Yeah, you should. Wine Folly is great for the book.
Online.
Online.
I mean, her stuff
She,
online.
yeah, she has a
Facebook.
YouTube.
You guys have
channel
YouTube
too.
about regular wines of the world. Wine Folly is a
I
great
love-
go-to.
I had that book already. I got it for Christmas, and then a month or two ago, when we were going to show it here, I watched all the Somme movies, and she's on there being interviewed several times, and she's such a fun personality. Like she's young, she's quirky, she's clearly really nerdy about wine, but also like
She's really engaging.
yeah,
It's
she's very engaging and
really-
has a fantastic
really
screen
fun to
presence.
watch
I
and listen
liked
to.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Madeline Plunkett or something.
Ooh, kind of unrelated, but related to strawberry rhubarb because we mentioned that.
It is a fireside chat, so we can be
yeah.
unrelated.
Priscilla says tonight is a strawberry moon, so no more fitting beverage than strawberry rhubarb, or I'd say,
Strawberry Moon.
or sparkling
That's on the
Winnipesaukee
label of our
rosé. That's what the label on our Winnie rosé is. So
That's the name of the
everyone
painting.
should be
That's the name of the painting.
should be drinking a bottle of sparkling Winnipesaukee rosé tonight. Fun.
Sounds like a plan to me. Cheers.
Okay.
I guess is that always is it just the full moon in June must be strawberry moon because June is strawberry time. Maybe that's the qualification. Or are there more
Sure,
specific
it's
qualifications for it?
strawberries.
It's something-
It's got to do with the color. I don't think it has to do with strawberries.
Not okay.
But Priscilla's going to help us with this.
But someone's going to research it.
Yeah.
And come up with the
Come
answer.
up with the answer because
Yeah.
I think strawberry moon has something. But I could be wrong.
I like
Might
these
be-
connected fireside chats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Well,
sparks.
you got the whole world out there to help
the
feedback
sparks
on.
moving up and around. Yeah.
So,
Fun.
so anything else from any exciting things from Italy that you want to share?
Oh
before
yeah,
we move
no,
on?
nothing exciting. It was
No,
really
any-
boring.
I like what
I said any more exciting.
what you mentioned about
Yeah.
that they said, the prosecco is delicious, but that they say it's it's just an easy make, easy drink. It's such a different approach than what you get for wine, maybe in other parts of the world about the very
So
specific,
this
and
was-
they're just so easygoing and wanting
Well,
to share
this
and wanting
was-
to enjoy it. I
Yeah,
like
this was
that
sort
attitude.
of Andrea's take on it. That Prosecco is their heritage, and they're very proud of it. But at the same time, it's now become so popular that it's getting shipped all over the place, all over the world. And he also travels to Los Angeles quite a bit. And he said he was in a Costco and saw Prosecco cases for $6 a bottle or something. he's just like, what's going on with this place? So he wants Prosecco to stay of the high quality and there the way it should be done. But yet he sees it's caught fire around the planet and everybody's drinking Prosecco. It's just such a great drink. And so he's seeing some of this mass marketing of it.
Well, you should tell him that he doesn't need to worry, because 95% of the wine made in the world, as we've talked about before, is made at a scale that we're at. 95%. Right. So yes, there's a handful of wineries in all parts of the world that are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of cases of wine and shipping them around the world. But those of us who really care about the quality of our wine know that there are wonderful wines to be had from all over the world, at a scale and at a craft level that will allow us to continue for forever to enjoy the craft beverage and not have to buy the $2 chuck that's being made to be mass marketed around the world. And sure, it's great, and actually it's a really great thing. I think for the average person, they could go to Hannaford's and they could buy an Italian Prosecco for $10.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But if you really have a taste for something special, you also know that you can go into the right liquor store or the right wine shop, and you can find a Prosecco that's made at a much more reasonable scale in a much more crafty way from Italy as well.
Yeah, I think he's kind of, like where he is, when you go to the store and you buy that local Prosecco that cost €8, is so much better quality than the same price point in the United States.
Of course.
Because they've been
just mass market.
We started off, I had never spent this much time really focused on a project with these people, and met a couple of new scientists at this gathering. But the very first day, Monday, we're all there and we were just doing introductions and getting to know one another. And then it was time for lunch. And so Alessio brought out a couple bottles of Prosecco. He brought them in this little cooler. And the Prosecco is made by his neighbor across the street from where he lives. And the label is like a sticker on the front of it. And it had a cork in it, but instead of a wire, it had a kind of a strong little rope.
Zip
string.
ties or something.
No, it was a string. It was a string that was tied to hold it on there. So he untied it, and it was a little brown,
So it's a home Prosecco.
It was a home Prosecco.
Cool.
And it was great. Little tiny bubbles, really soft, just awesome. She says, "Yeah, this is just what we make." It was a great start to the whole week.
I did a tasting today with a young woman that's getting married in a couple weeks in the area, and she was talking about their honeymoon is in Italy, and her fiance is not much of a wine drinker, but she was trying to convince him and encouraging the fact that when he's there, he'll probably be a wine drinker. And she talked about she had studied in college. She had been in Florence for maybe a semester or something, and she didn't enjoy wine until she was there. And just the way it's presented, you can't help but.
It's something you have to learn. I mean, for all of us. I mean, I don't think there's probably very few teenagers that go out to parties, or college students that go out to parties and look forward to having a fine glass of wine. You drink.
They stand around the keg of Budweiser.
Yeah, or Budweiser or gin or vodka, and you get a buzz on, and it serves a purpose, and it tastes okay. You put enough punch in it, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older, you start to care more about the details. You care about the history. You care about how something's made. You care about
a fine gin to get that buzz on.
Right. I mean, getting the buzz on is still an important part of the process. I mean, alcohol has served us that way for as long as it's been in existence.
That's why we keep making it.
But enjoying the getting drunk is not the goal in my life. In fact, I want to stay as far away from drunk as possible. It was never a good experience in high school, and it's definitely not a good experience as an adult. So in that way, I want to enjoy the nuance of the alcohol experience far more than I do the drunken party at a high school party, or high school or college. High school. I never drank in high school. No. College parties. Yeah, sure.
There you go.
So I have a segue. So one of our
fireside segue.
Yeah, so one of our recent shows here at our new listening room series, which I hope all of you know about. If you don't, we're going to talk a little bit about it. One of our recent shows just came back from a tour of Italy. She actually, Daniela Schacker was here about
a couple weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah, and she's Daniela Schacker Trio, and she's part of our new listening room series, which is happening in the Loft every Thursday night from 6 to 9:30, and she and her trio had just come back from touring Italy, and she's actually from Italy. She was born and raised in Italy, and she moved here when she was 19 or 20 or somewhere around there to go to Berkeley and study music, and ended up ultimately becoming a professor at Berkeley. And the two other bandmates, the bass player and the drummer who were with her that evening, were also
They're also at Berkeley,
professors. Yeah. What a show! What an amazing show! This woman was
fantastic. I missed that one. You and Chuck, I think, did that one.
Yeah, I actually think it's hard to the shows have been so different.
That's what I love. That's why I love. They're all different. And looking at the lineup, looking ahead, and seeing where they occur relative to other things that I'm doing, it's just great. Yeah. So it's hard to say that was the best show or better show. When Gary Fahari was magical, amazing. She was magical. She had such a spirit about her, and she combined jazz and African music in a way I've never heard before. And so that was unique and special in and of itself. And then we had the Ballroom Thieves here, which is... Hey, how was the time with them when they came back the next day? I didn't get to hook up with them, but you and Chuck got to spend a lot of time with them.
Oh, it was great. So
and they came to the winery. You gave them a tour and tasting.
They spent the day with Chuck boating. They went over and got lobster rolls at the Lobster Shack, and I'm sure, I already know they spent the day with Chuck, so they had an awesome time because Chuck's a great host. So he took great care of them. Then they showed up here and we did a wine tasting here at the winery at 4 o'clock. And then to break things up, we went out to dinner at a local restaurant with Lagos, and had Gerald and I and the two of them went and had dinner together. And then we came back here for the piano night, which was what's his name? I'm trying to blank now.
Chris?
No, the Balaz. Andre Balaz. Andre Balaz, who I don't think you've heard yet.
I haven't heard Andre.
Unbelievable piano player. So much fun. And he's played here 3 times now. He's coming back again. He's on the calendar for a few more times this summer.
Right.
Book your calendar. If you can be here for Andre, he's absolutely amazing. And so it was really a great show. So we spent the evening together enjoying Andre Balaz. And then the next morning, they came back to the winery again. We hadn't finished their tasting because we were on a tight schedule. So they finished their tasting, and then they got to go out to the garden, and they had some slushies.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
They had a fantastic time. They really
a little bit of
couldn't say
everything.
enough.
They're
about
such great people.
They really are. So the Ballroom Thieves, we were very fortunate to have them here. They play all over the country and actually all over the world. They're going to be doing a European segment of their tour, and typically we saw them together at Thompson Point in Maine.
Yeah.
There were 3,000 people in the audience, and we saw them also at. You went to the Capitol Center for the Arts. Did you go to that, or
I didn't see them there? No.
Oh no, it's somebody else they went with. They played Capitol Center a couple of years back, but really super people, and they will be back. They're excited about coming back and playing again. So probably next year we'll have them back. But we've had some great shows. So if you don't know, we're from now on every Thursday for the rest of our life. We're going to have an amazing act on stage right here where we're sitting, playing jazz, world music, folk music, indie rock, blues maybe. Who knows? We're going to be all over the map, I think, by the time it's all said and done. And we're probably going to lean, 40, 50% of it will have a jazz hint to it. Jazz comes in a lot of forms.
It fits this vibe. I can see that.
And it kind of fits that small format too.
The listening room.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard about a listening room is really an expectation that during the performance that the audience remain quiet. And we help that by we actually stop service for food and drinks during the show. So it helps the room remain very quiet. And sure enough, in between, when the different groups have been here, in between songs, when they finish a song, you can hear a pin drop in here.
It's almost, I don't know how you could really carry on much of a conversation because it's so intimate and so engaging. Yeah. You almost feel like you would be offending the artist if you had much of a conversation. You might say a little word or two,
Right,
but
right.
you wouldn't just have a conversation while they're playing over there, because they're there and they're just bigger than life right in front of you. It's full engagement, and it builds. The artists build on your engagement, and you build on their activity, so it really takes off.
Yeah, it's nice. I do have we've got a little preview video that Bob put together from the first few performances.
Let's play.
So I'm going to start that for you all to enjoy.
If I ever knew I loved you, it was then. Say, don't you hide your eyes from me. I will wreck your guesswork of worries one by one. When they're buried in some deep dark sea, you'll be mine, so my mind is stunning. But it was over by the time.
There we go. Hopefully we're able to hear that all right.
So that's
And
just
it's-
a quick preview.
It's a preview. It's a hint of what
little
it's like
teaser.
actually being there. And the sound quality is so incredible. The staff that get to work at those events are fantastic. You get a free concert. Even, if you're standing way back in the corner behind the bar, it's still,
There isn't a bad seat. in the
it is
house.
not a bad seat in the house. Everywhere
Yeah.
you are,
And
it's,
the only discouraging thing about that little preview of video is that it was shot on my iPhone. It doesn't even begin to represent the quality of the sound that happens in this room that night. But it does start to tell you the story, and it's really a unique experience.
So who's this Thursday?
Yamaka Peterson.
Yamika Peterson. She's out of Portsmouth. She's got a family history in music. Her mother is a relatively famous jazz singer, and her father is a very well-known blues guitar player. Plays all over the Northeast, and so she's steeped in family history of music. And she's coming with two amazing artists, Paul Costley, who I've seen play many times. He's also well-known around New England, and there's a Nate. I forget Nate's last name. Is the drummer, and they're amazing artists. I've seen him play in a few different renditions, but they're gonna. So this is different altogether. Mika's coming with. She'll have a jazzy, bluesy. She's gonna have a really world music kind of vibe. A little bit more upbeat than some of the jazz we've had. But I'm really looking forward to seeing their show this Thursday. And you can go on our event site. Every show is booked for Thursday night all the way out to September 7th. So if you want to know who's coming and there's somebody you're interested in, let us know, and hopefully you can get in to see a show. And then not only that, that's Thursday nights. And the Listening Room series is really going to stay a listening series. It's going to be really meant to be for those who are really serious into their music and want to see a really special show.
There's an occasional comedy thing, right?
So that's why I want to say, let's break from outside of Listening Room, outside of Thursday nights. This room is going to be used for lots of things. And just Friday, the 10th, we had these two women up from Boston, comics, and they were amazing. The audience was in stitches for, I don't know, an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. They were in stitches. These two ladies were hysterical. And it was so nice actually for me, because I've seen a lot of male comics in my life, and male comics dominate the comic scene, as they do in a lot of professions from old, come from the past.
Right.
And today a lot
are
more
changing.
women are really stepping up.
Yeah, some of my favorite comedians are the female ones. There's a fun, another Netflix documentary on sort of modern female comedians and talking about the sort of discrepancies and things. It was a really fun
And it
documentary.
was so cool to hear a woman's perspective from on the comic scene.
Great.
It's
They're really
fantastic.
great.
It was very refreshing, and I really enjoyed it.
While you can keep on chatting, Bob. I don't think the audio will be affected. While you're chatting, I'm going to share the pictures that you had.
Let's jump to the pictures here and shows, because there's some comic. We have Justin McKinney here.
Yeah, that's right.
Justin McKinney is a superstar. He's been all over the.
So yeah, so that's
Tonight
their
Show 3
first
times.
picture there. You can see.
Yeah, that was Justin. He was here for an 1.5-hour show, and that was
Full
absolutely
house.
amazing. He did a really nice job.
I was sad to have missed that one. I think I was down in Florida that week, but that was because he has really great like New Hampshire humor.
He's got New Hampshire, New England,
Which- yeah.
Maine, New Hampshire. He was a Maine state cop for about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Before he became so he's got some great stories on the road. So there's a bunch of pictures. So that's I think that's Wangari or Daniela Shatker.
Or is it Fred Haas?
That's
I don't.
Daniela Shatker.
Okay. Yeah, I don't recognize that one.
Or
No,
no.
no, that's Fred Haas. That was this past Thursday.
Oh, okay.
There's
Fred
Wangari.
Haas. Okay, there's
That's a great picture.
Wangari. It was it's so amazing.
Saxophone.
We hired WHB Sound, and they did a fantastic job with our sound and lighting. So we really have this cool, very nightclubby
I
atmosphere.
love the purple. It's just it's a
Yeah,
jazzy
purple,
color.
yeah.
I like it.
That's
There's
Daniela
Daniela.
Shatker and the
Our
trio.
trio. This is a wonderful shot of Ballroom Thieves.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. The shiny piano makes for good photography.
Oh, this piano is
It's just so
amazing.
pretty.
It's just a piece of art in and of itself. I just like looking at the piano.
So that was Kelly.
Kelly
right? Yeah.
from
yeah.
Comic on Friday night.
Kelly McFarland and
Callie. And he was the
part of Fred.
from
Haas.
Fred Haas.
That's it for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Nice.
It's awesome. It's amazing, thinking back, 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Before this, when we first
started
this up.
thinking about, investing in, keep the focus on this space and this building and make sure we utilize it fully before we get off into another adventure. And
So we were going to open a brewery 5 years ago. Remember that?
Yes.
We were
Gonna
we had a business
hop into
plan.
another adventure?
We were good. What?
I'm on Priscilla's level. Gonna hop into another adventure? Anyway.
We had hard plans. We had a building design. We had business plan. We had a building in mind and almost a deal to make that building go. And then we had also no, this was before our advisory board.
It's before, but we got sage advice at that moment. Thank goodness.
John Harrington from Invested for Growth. We invited him to come talk to us about our business plan and about the idea and see and funding for
He
it.
politely laughed at us.
And he politely laughed at us. And he said,
You guys
you know what? He got us there on his own. He asked us like 4 very pointed
He
questions
helped
that we
us.
couldn't answer.
He helped us see it for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And we got to the end of the interview and we're like,
You can't do this, Bob.
I think we should open a brewery
This
right
stuff.
now. It's not a good idea.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah, but then he also insisted that we create an advisory board where we bring together people, industry people, and people from our community who have more experience than us in the various aspects of the things that we're trying to do here, and suggested that an advisory board might help us think more reasonably about some of these ideas that we had, or be more planful about them at the very least. And sure enough, the advisory board, almost in, I think maybe the first or second meeting that we had when we actually did put one together, and they also sort of laughed at us. We had this grand plan that this was going to become the deli up here. Remember, this was or the tasting room. I forget.
We were talking about a deli up here.
No, this was going to be the tasting room, and the whole downstairs was going to become the deli.
Provisions.
Yes.
But
I've seen a setup like that in places.
We were going
Yeah.
to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, but without any real gain from that coming back, it wouldn't work financially at all. It didn't, and there was no metric for it. They're like, why do that? Why not just open up a little tiny place where you can have a little bit of food and achieve selling wine by the glass, because you weren't allowed to do that unless you had food.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Let's do that. And that enabled us to get our
That
foot
created
in
the
door.
deli.
That created our little deli with 20 seats in here. And
Downstairs.
That was the beginning, downstairs, because this was still a ping pong place.
This was a 70s office building.
Yeah.
This
Everything was
Drop
tan.
ceilings.
Everything was tan.
It was horrible. This place was horrible, except
Oh,
for the
so
ping
much
pong
fun with
table.
the ping pong table.
Yeah. I say the back two little office spaces were nice because they had the window and they had the almost a view in the winter. Those I think there was some white, but
Nice. I mean, they had this horrible wallpaper.
it was brighter back there than the first
bizarre
two
carpet.
storage corners. It was
Well, it's
pretty
mostly
fun.
wasted space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wasted space.
And now
We just tossed
it's
junk
not
in all the
wasted.
corners.
not one speck of space.
Every nook and cranny set up here, all sorts of opportunities and things going on.
And just this space has so much potential for so many different types of
yeah.
events. But that it's fun. It was designed with that listening room concept in mind. So we did everything right for that because I think there's such specific things you need for that. But that doesn't mean that's the only thing that we can do up here. There's
Sure,
so many
no,
things we
no.
can do up here.
But it actually has become a really important aspect. This is an active music venue. Thursday nights we have the listening room experience. Friday nights
and Saturday,
we have piano from 7 to 9, which is always a joy to come up and just enjoy beautiful. We have pianists coming from Boston and Portland and all over New England to come and play for us.
I need to move into town. I can just walk over here.
It is handy. I have to tell you. I actually am saying to myself, I don't know if I can keep up with my entertainment schedule. I mean,
I know.
I'm going out for music 3 times a week or comedy or so. I haven't been entertained this much probably ever before in my entire life. How often in my life do I get to go to a live show and see like an act on the caliber of
Right, well, that's just
Daniela
what's happened to
Shacker?
us in the last 10 years about how much beverage access we have.
Well, this is why we say this all the time. Why did we open a winery?
Because we like to drink.
We like to drink wine.
Yeah.
So we open a winery. How perfect! We get to drink all of our wine. Well, for the rest of our lives, we have enough wine. Probably if today, like something happened to cause the world to change, such that all we had left was our wine, we would probably be good for at least a few years.
Depends where Chuck was.
So,
Yeah, depends where Chuck was. No, we started a winery because we love wine, and then we started a deli because.
Without food.
What better than great
Yeah.
food with great wine? And then now we have a music venue. I'm going to sell my car.
That's about it.
No, probably not.
No, you love it.
I like that car. But that's more of a toy than it is anything else. I don't need a car because I have great entertainment coming from around the world to play in this beautiful venue, 100 yards from my house. I have wonderful food. I have wine, and now we have a deli, so we have craft beverages, craft beers from all over.
I know.
And guess what's coming? Because if you didn't know,
It's Campari.
well, no, even better. We're a full service restaurant now.
Oh, come on, keep going.
I know.
This is what I want to hear.
Yeah,
This is what I
so
wanna
we're a
hear.
full service restaurant, which was the last piece of the puzzle for the Liquor Commission to approve a full liquor license for us. So the hope is, and please don't expect this to happen anytime too soon. We have a lot on our plate. We have a lot to learn. We're still learning service. We're still learning our event space, and our music room is still coming to shape. So I don't think
that's what's always the case, isn't it? With us?
it is.
I mean,
Always
we've
something
always
more.
had this.
Always
If you just
something
back
more.
up 5 years, we were just introducing food. Keep patient here. We're figuring this out. We're going to get things going. I mean, I think we'll always do that. I mean, that's where
We will.
want. That's where we like to be, and it's great because then you look behind and you go, wow, look at all this stuff. Look what we have. Look at this. It's done. So the future is just going to have more things going along because we can't help it.
Well, this is true, but I think for our own sanity, stalling the
So we
next
won't have
phase.
martinis anytime soon.
I think we'll get through the summer first.
Yeah.
My
This
plan
fall,
is
this fall.
It seems
this
like that's a good
fall
winter thing.
or winter.
Winter project.
We'll get our liquor
Excellent. That's
license.
good. Come in at a slow time.
And I don't want to do full crazy bar, but imagine we could have martini
we
nights.
could have so many cool blends
could have
too. We could
The
experiment
cocktails we could.
with 3 honey with vodka. With
Yeah.
Some other bitters and shaken up and poured over ice or whatever. There's so many combinations that we've got to try.
Scotch nights. We'll have Manley. What's his name from up north? He's the expert on Scotch. He does Scotch tastings. I can't wait to him. What's his name? He was the Christmas tree farm for the state of New Hampshire for the longest time. His last name is Manley.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You related?
You'll find him.
No, not related. Remember, we were going to do this at our house. We were going to invite him to our house in Samerton.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Up near Bethlehem.
Yes, in Bethlehem.
In
The
Bethlehem.
Christmas tree
The
farm.
Christmas tree. We went up to his place.
Yeah,
What's his name?
I'll think of it. But he's
Oh, yeah.
Nigel Manley.
Nigel.
Nigel.
Yeah.
Super
Oh, we gotta
guy.
get Nigel here.
We got to get Nigel. He
Right.
does these Scotch
Hey, we're
tastings
gonna
that
have
are
a
just
top
amazing.
shelf over there with some.
Some of the best Scotches around.
Oh yeah, we gotta have that top shelf stuff.
I envision Scotch. I envision some nice martinis. Tequila.
Really good tequila.
Maybe we are going to have a full bar.
Some
Yeah,
really good
I was gonna say I don't
we
like
have to have
I
really
don't
good
like
tequila.
Scotch. I don't really like martinis. I'm
Oh,
not
you
a
wait,
huge
You wait.
Oh,
You got so
fan
many
of
good
tequila. I
tequila.
like gin though, so
We have so much to
Oh,
teach you.
I know. I've got a long way to go. But I was gonna say of all the hard liquors, I like gin the best. So it's a slippery slope. We can't. It's gonna end up being a full bar.
After the show might be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I think-
Sit there and have a nice martini when you're watching this music.
Well, that's what it's about. We've created this listening room experience. It's just like a nightclub. When we were here with Daniela Shatker, we were at Minton's in New York.
That's
We were
gonna
at
be
the
a nice-
the Smoke, these famous jazz clubs in New York, and we had it all going on right here. We didn't have to go 5 hours to New York. It was right here. We had the lighting and the sound and the sound system that WHB Sound put in here is top of the line. It doesn't get any better at this scale. It doesn't get any better than what we have here. And the lighting, when we had the Ballroom Thieves here,
Yeah, I love the way it's lit up.
he had the lighting board out. I don't know if you know, but we bought a board so we can control all the lights in real time going. So during the show, when we get the right people here, we can do a lighting show where we can actually change the scene in mid-show as they do solos.
Like a
We can
Pink Floyd
switch.
thing?
But we can manipulate the lights in real time. We can manipulate their brightness, their color, their which lights are pointing where. And so when there's a solo, if the bass player goes solo, we could switch to a spot on the bass and switch to the guitar player. And we're just learning about this stuff now. Right now we have scenes. So for the most part, we don't need a lighting expert because we can just flip from one scene to the next and capture the right look and feel. But we have the technology here to make a really cool show. And lighting wise, sound wise, and we certainly have the sound equipment. This piano is a beautiful instrument. Although, did you see what I shared with you today? I shared this with you. I'll tell the story. I was on the website for Jimmy's Jazz Club in Portland, which I'm dying to go to. Jimmy's Jazz. I think it's called Jimmy's Jazz. It's a new jazz venue in Portland, New Hampshire. And I've heard nothing but great things about it. And the people that they have playing there are some of the best in the world.
Oh, Portsmouth.
Portsmouth or Portland?
Portsmouth.
Okay, Portsmouth.
Sorry, did I say Portland?
Yeah.
You said Portland, New Hampshire. It's a new city from the
New
coast.
city in New Hampshire.
Anyway.
But it's Portsmouth.
Always.
Anyway, now I'm gonna, a famous.
So they're trying to bring in
No, a famous piano player. One of the world's. Now I'm drawing a blank because every time I go for a name, I'm stuck. But he's one of the greatest piano players in the world. He's a jazz piano player, and he's playing there. And it's off the rails that he's playing there. That he's even there. Somebody knows somebody to get him to this.
Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock. Thank you.
Hancock.
Priscilla.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Priscilla.
So Herbie Hancock's playing at Jimmy's.
Herbie Hancock's going to play there?
At Jimmy's, yeah. And so
When is this?
It's coming up this fall.
I got to go.
I'm sure it's sold out.
We got to go.
I'm sure
Can
it's
we
sold
get
out.
tickets?
I'm sure it's sold out.
Can we get tickets?
Gotta know somebody.
So today, so Jimmy's, they took this very
Can we
seriously.
get Herbie here?
We put a nice piano in here. You know what Jimmy's put in? They put a $200,000 piano on stage. That's their piano for their club. Herbie Hancock had his personal piano
Brought in.
Wow.
to the venue. And in order to get his piano, which actually, did you know pianos come in piano cases?
Tickets are still available.
On a piano case?
In a case. And they had to
I feel like that would be
remove,
bad for the piano.
they just built this venue. They had to remove a window
To be able to bring it in.
to bring it in. So this is
I think Priscilla lives down there. She says his piano arrived just now. Tickets are still available.
wow.
Go on tonight. You have a job as soon as we.
Maybe we
need to buy tickets.
We do need to get.
We gotta go.
That would be amazing.
I'd love to see.
No, that would be amazing.
I used to play Hermit Hancock on a turntable when my kids were little, and we would dance to Cantaloupe Island or some of his songs.
Do you know that we sent a note to his producer and asked if he'd be willing
They're
to
coming here.
play here after there.
Yeah, they kind of laugh.
They didn't laugh.
There's not enough time to.
They're
move
very
this piano
respectful,
here.
but
Yeah.
but I
Thank you very
now
much.
that I know that he requires his piano delivered,
Probably wouldn't work.
it would. I can't imagine the ticket price we'd have to charge for our 50 seats. In order
How much
to-
are the tickets?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure we
We'll
can
do
find
some
them.
research.
We are just over our 30-minute or 6:30 cutoff.
Sorry, I was yawning so much.
The fire, yeah, it's late in Italy.
For me, or 12:30 in the
You've been
morning
up
or
for
whatever it is.
24 hours.
Tickets are 165 to 220.
Oh shoot, we could afford that. We should go. It's a once in a lifetime experience.
It
You'll never
is.
get to see him
It
again.
is.
Never.
We gotta get tickets.
All right. On that note,
Gotta let the fire
Enough.
embers die down.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's next week?
what is next week? You know what? Oh, you know what next week is? Oh, this is going to be fun.
We have a plan.
Next week. Oh, this is gonna be
Are
great.
you guys are down in Boston next week?
We're going to
You won't be
Boston.
there.
I won't be
You
there.
won't be there. I hope you'll be on. You'll dial in.
I'll call in.
We're going to be down in Boston.
Oh, my
We're
God, this is gonna be crazy.
we're having a
I have
photo
no
shoot.
idea what you've got us involved in here. This is just.
Oh, you
It's
wait.
like I'm gonna be standing on my head.
Yeah, we are
Literally.
going to be at the Circus Arts facility in Somerville, Mass, with Steve Marcel. He's a pretty well-known Boston photographer. Actually, I'd say a famous Boston photographer. He's been doing photography, professional photography in Boston for 40 years, and he's brilliant. I'm a big fan. I love his work, and we hired him to help with our
To take
rebranding.
pictures of us.
He's going to take pictures of us, and we're going to go to Circus Arts because Ken's going to have to stand on his head.
Oh my
Chuck's
God.
going to have to climb hang off of a cliff, and a piano is going to have to be suspended from the ceiling. I mean, it's crazy stuff. I can't even believe what we're doing. I don't even know what we're getting into. But Steve Marcel is the guy to do it. He's an amazing photographer. So we're going to be live from Somerville. I don't know where we'll be at 5:30. So it's going to be you tune in to see
It's
if we're
gonna
in the
be crazy.
studio
It's
or
gonna be crazy. This
we're
is
going to be
one of the
somewhere. at
most
5:30.
wildest events that we have.
Yeah, and I'll snap some pictures of the event during the day, and we'll share some of those pictures
You
during
can
the
share a
show.
little snapshot of some of the promo stuff.
Oh, sure.
New things.
Yeah.
Get the cat out of the bag a little bit.
Oh yeah, we'll do some setups. You'll have no idea what we're doing, but you'll see this crazy stuff, and you'll wonder what
It's
are they
so
up to?
exciting.
fun.
This whole new. brand.
So yeah, we're going to be in Boston for the next show next week. And you know what I'd like to do after that? We're going to let's ask Joe if Joe will do let's do a barbecue episode. Let's get Joe, the barbecue guy, here on a Monday night and talk barbecue for a night.
That sounds fun.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool, right?
Why not? Perfect. Summer evening. on
Yeah,
Monday
we could throw the table across the street again. So with that, I hope you can join us next Monday at 5:30 in Boston or Somerville, actually.
Oh,
And
my goodness.
until then, have a great evening, and please,
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
please come see us. Come see one of our shows.
Cheers.
That's gonna be great. It'd be crazy seeing.
Gonna be wild.
I hope Paul's okay.
Hmm?
I hope Paul's okay.
Yeah, I do too. Paul had a stroke.
Oh,
Deb Lucky's husband.
have you heard
They
any
don't
details?
know what's here.
Sounds like he's going to be okay.
Not for sure. I'm sure no blood clot thing or health issues come up.
How many people did we?
I think 13 was the highest I saw. Well, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's
Mhm.
it's kind of like the new average. It used to be lower than that.
Yeah. This one we've got our sort of just the regulars are forming their own little Monday night fan club. It's great. How are things? No, no, we just finished.
We're still alive.
We're still alive.
I was like trying to sneak on.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, they can still hear us? I turned the mics down. Oh, maybe it's on here.